was right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to our guest. Ben Vereen was obviously distracted that night, or perhaps exhausted from giving maybe 13 performances in a week, which they sometimes do.
Wow.
I have also been similarly distracted. About a year ago at work, a nurse came up to me and whispered in my ear, XYZ. I didn't know what she was talking about. I really didn't. I thought, great. You know the last 3 letters of the alphabet. Good for you. I can say the first, A, B, C. What? She said, X, Y, Z. Examine your zipper. And I went, embarrassment. I was similarly distracted. Yes, Rita's giving yet another speech on distraction. Yet tonight I'm going to try to approach it from a couple different angles. Still, I am amazed at the level of distraction in society. I call it the epidemic of distraction. There are many things we can do to deal with distraction. However, I'm just going to focus on 2 tonight. The first one is simply become aware that we're distracted. I've referenced this book before, but I'm going to reference it again. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. He's not paying me to endorse his book. I wish he were. I could quit my day job. Anyhow, he talks about when we realize that we're not present, we become present. When we realize we're distracted, we're no longer distracted. Simple, but not easy. When we realize we're distracted, we don't have to beat ourselves up. I'm distracted, I'm terrible, I'm horrible. Welcome to the human race. We don't have to create a story around it. We just come back to the present moment. All right, so that's the first one. Just be aware that we're distracted. The second one is simply to try to shut down some of the excessive distractions that we have in our lives. Sometimes we have to turn off the television, turn off the radio, put our phones away. One of the main things I'm becoming more aware of that are distractions in society is the constant bombardment of advertising. Have you noticed this? It's just constant. It's everywhere. If you could guess a number of times per day we're exposed to advertising images, what would you guess? Pick a number. 10, 20, 50 trillion.
200.
200.
150.
150.
80.
80. Try
90.
5,000.
How many?
5,000. According to Yanklevich, a marketing research firm, they determined that 5,000 images a day cross us. From what sources? From what channels? Hint, hint. How do we get these advertising messages? Television, radio, internet. A bus drives by, the side is plastered with advertising images. The bench at the bus stop is covered with advertising images. If you've ever taken an aspirin, call this law firm. You may be entitled to reimbursement. If you or anyone you know has ever taken an aspirin, call this law. If you had relatives that fought in the Civil War that took an aspirin, call this law firm. You might, I mean, it's over the top. You go get your mail after work. This high is junk mail. We have to start conscientiously shutting down some of these forms of distraction. A couple Sunday nights ago, I was driving back from a holiday party in the city. All along the sides of the freeway, the billboards are all lit up, flashing these beautiful, vivid colors. I wanted to stop and watch. I had to drive my car. Become aware of the distractions, shut some of the distractions down. I leave you with a quote, as I so love to do at the end of my speeches, by psychologist author Daniel Goleman. One way to boost our willpower and focus is to manage our distractions rather than letting them manage us. Madam Toastmaster.